first firework exploded over Denver at exactly 11:59 p.m. on July 3rd, painting the night sky in brilliant cascades of red, white, and blue. Families gathered on rooftops and in backyards, children clutching sparklers while their parents prepared for the most patriotic day of the American calendar. The second explosion wasn't a firework at all. Colonel Sarah Brooks was reaching for her sidearm before her eyes were fully open. 20 years of military training overriding the peaceful domesticity of her suburban Denver home. The sound that had awakened her wasn't the familiar whistle and pop of pyrotechnics. It was a harmonic vibration that made her teeth ache and her vision blur, a frequency that seemed to resonate inside her bones. Through her bedroom window, she watched something that violated every law of physics she'd learned at the Air Force Academy. A metallic object the size of a city bus hovering motionless above downtown Denver, its surface pulsing with an energy that hurt to look at directly. The craft maintained perfect stability in the air without any visible means of propulsion, defying gravity with the casual indifference of technology that belonged in science fiction rather than the skies above Colorado. "NORAD, this is Colonel Sarah Brooks, Denver Sector Command," she said into her secure radio, her voice carrying the crisp authority that had earned her command of the Regional Defense Coordination Center. "I have an unidentified aircraft exhibiting impossible flight characteristics over metropolitan Denver. Repeat, unknown aircraft maintaining stationary hover at approximately 10,000 feet above city center." The response came immediately, crackling through encrypted channels that connected every major military installation in North America. "Brooks, this is Major General Marcus Stone at Cheyenne Mountain. Look outside again. Tell me what you see now." Brooks pressed her face to the reinforced glass of her bedroom window, her breath fogging the surface as she counted the impossible. The single craft above Denver had been joined by hundreds more, appearing simultaneously across the horizon in perfect geometric formation. Each vessel pulsed with the same alien light, creating a grid pattern that stretched from Colorado Springs to Fort Collins, from Boulder to Aurora. The crafts hung in the air like malevolent stars, their synchronized pulsing creating a rhythm that seemed to match the beating of her heart. "Sir, I count at least 200 objects maintaining formation above the Front Range corridor. They're positioned over every major population center from Pueblo to Greeley. Try 2,000, Colonel, one above every major city in America. From Seattle to Miami, from San Diego to Boston." They timed their arrival for July 4, 2025, and they're not here for the fireworks. Brooks felt ice water replacing the blood in her veins as the implications hit her. The secure frequency erupted with reports from across the continental United States, each transmission confirming the scope of what they were facing. Offutt Air Force Base reports multiple bogies over Omaha. CENTCOM tracking unknown aircraft. The formations over Tampa Bay. Cheyenne Mountain confirms radar contact with unknown formations over Colorado Springs. Peterson Space Force Base has visual confirmation of extraterrestrial aircraft. Then came the voice that changed everything, that spoke in perfect English, broadcast simultaneously through every electronic device in America. Television screens flickered to display a figure that was unmistakably alien, tall, elongated, with features that suggested intelligence evolved under a different sun. The voice carried the casual arrogance of a predator that had never met meaningful resistance, the tone of someone accustomed to absolute obedience. "Humans of Earth," the alien commander began, each word precisely enunciated with mechanical perfection. "I am Fleet Commander Zethnin of the Hegemony Conquest Force. Your primitive independence celebrations end today. You will immediately surrender all military assets, submit to processing protocols, and prepare for relocation to designated work colonies. Resistance is futile and will result in unnecessary casualties. You have 1 standard hour to begin compliance." Procedures. The transmission cut off, leaving America in stunned silence for exactly 30 seconds. Then President Sarah McCready's voice cut across every frequency in the United States, broadcast from secure bunkers beneath Washington, D.C. through communication networks that had been hardened against every conceivable threat. "This is the President of the United States addressing Fleet Commander Z9 and any other uninvited guests currently violating American airspace." The President's voice carried steel wrapped in diplomatic protocol, the tone of someone who had spent her entire political career preparing for exactly this moment. "Commander, let me explain something fundamental about America that your intelligence gathering apparently missed. We've been celebrating independence for 249 years. We didn't stop for the British Empire. We didn't stop for fascist dictatorships. We didn't stop for communist superpowers. And we sure as hell aren't stopping for you." Brooks's secure radio crackled with the transmission she'd trained for since her first day at West Point but had never expected to hear in her lifetime. All units. This is DEFCON 1. Independence Protocol is now active. Repeat, Independence Protocol is authorized. All forces are weapons-free. Engage and destroy any extraterrestrial forces threatening American soil." She stopped cold in the middle of strapping on her tactical gear. In 20 years of military service, through deployments in Iraq and Afghanistan, through counterterrorism operations in 3 different countries, she'd never heard those words. Independence Protocol was the theoretical response to extraterrestrial invasion that every senior officer knew about but none believed they'd ever implement. Brooks, are you receiving? Came General Stone's voice through the static. Sir. Independence Protocol confirmed. Requesting immediate orders. Colonel, get to Denver Federal Building immediately. You're about to see what 2.5 centuries of American military development can accomplish when we stop holding back. Brooks grabbed her gear and headed for her vehicle, watching as emergency lights began flashing across the Denver metropolitan area. But these weren't standard disaster response lights. They were military preparation signals she'd only seen during the most classified exercises. Indicators of a defense network activating that most Americans didn't know existed. Her secure radio crackled with updates from military installations across the nation. Andrews Air Force Base. All F-22 squadrons launching ... Norfolk Naval Base. All carrier groups are weapons-free ... Fort Bragg, 82nd Airborne is spinning up for immediate deployment ... Camp Pendleton, Marine Expeditionary Forces are moving to assault positions. Sir, requesting clarification on rules of engagement. Colonel, these are hostile extraterrestrial forces threatening American soil on Independence Day. Row is simple. Anything that's not human, not friendly, and not surrendering gets the full attention of the United States Armed Forces. No restrictions, no limitations, no holding back. As Brooks started her vehicle, a modified tactical transport disguised as a civilian SUV, she watched the first wave of American response streak overhead. F-22 Raptors cut through the pre-dawn sky in perfect formation, their afterburners lighting up the darkness like deadly fireworks. The sound of their engines wasn't just mechanical noise, it was the sound of American air superiority preparing to dominate the sky above her homeland. Sir, I count 12 F-22s heading west toward the alien formations. That's just the first wave, Colonel. Today these aliens learn why America spends more on defense than the next 10 countries combined. At Nellis Air Force Base in Nevada, home of the elite fighter weapons school and birthplace of American air combat excellence, Major Jake Thunder Morrison strapped into his F-22 Raptor with the calm precision of a pilot who had dedicated his life to mastering the most advanced air superiority fighter ever built. The F-22 Raptor represented the absolute pinnacle of American aerospace engineering. Twin Pratt & Whitney F-119 engines producing 35,000 pounds of thrust each, advanced stealth technology that made the aircraft virtually invisible to radar, and avionics systems that could track and engage multiple targets simultaneously at ranges beyond visual contact. Every system had been designed and tested to establish and maintain American dominance in aerial warfare. Thunder, this is Nellis. Control, came the voice in his headset, transmitted through communication systems that could penetrate any interference. You are cleared for immediate scramble. Multiple bogies approaching Vegas airspace from the northwest. Rules of engagement, weapons free on any non-terrestrial aircraft. Repeat, you are cleared to engage extraterrestrial hostiles. Morrison's hands moved across the cockpit controls with practiced efficiency. Systems coming online that represented decades of American technological development. Roger, control. Thunder flight of 4 Raptors, ready for immediate takeoff. Request priority routing to intercept. His wingman, Captain Lisa Lightning Part, responded immediately through the formation frequency, her voice carrying the confidence that came from graduating at the top of her class from the fighter weapons school. Thunder, Lightning is ready. My sensors are already painting targets at Angels 30, bearing 2%. Count 8 bogies in attack formation. The F-22s lifted off Nellis's runway with the graceful power that had made them legends in air forces around the world. Within minutes, they were climbing at impossible angles, their thrust-vectored engines allowing maneuvers that defied conventional aerodynamics while their stealth signatures remained invisible to conventional radar systems. Morrison's tactical display painted a clear picture of the alien formation. 8 craft arranged in a pattern that suggested military precision but followed none of the tactical doctrines taught at American air combat schools. Lightning, I have multiple contacts confirmed. Range 20 miles, altitude 30,000 feet, speed. Jesus, they're not moving, they're just hanging there. He armed his AIM-120 AMRAAM missiles, each one representing the culmination of American air-to-air weapons technology. The advanced medium-range air-to-air missile could engage targets at ranges exceeding 50 miles. Guided by active radar systems that could defeat any known countermeasures. Thunderflight, this is Thunderled. We are engaging hostile aircraft in American airspace. Remember your training, trust your equipment, and show these visitors why the United States Air Force owns the sky. Fox 3, Morrison's first AMRAAM streaked away from his Raptor with a reliability that had made American missiles the gold standard worldwide. The missile's active radar seeker locked onto the lead alien craft, its warhead designed to destroy supersonic fighters. The alien technology proved just as vulnerable to American engineering as terrestrial threats. The first alien craft exploded in a brilliant fireball visible from the ground, debris raining down over the Nevada desert as American weapons technology proved its effectiveness against extraterrestrial targets. Splash 1 Bandit. Confirmed kill, Morrison reported, his voice carrying the satisfaction of a pilot who had just proven American air superiority extended beyond Earth's atmosphere. Lightning, your turn. Already on it. Thunder. Fox 3. Park's AMRAAM found its mark with surgical precision, adding a second kill to the American tally. But the aliens weren't defenseless. Energy weapons lanced through the sky with colors that had no names in human language, forcing the Raptors into evasive maneuvers that showcased both the incredible capabilities of American aircraft design and the superior training of American pilots. Thunder. We've got incoming energy weapons. They're trying to paint us with some kind of targeting system. Morrison put his Raptor into a vertical climb that would have been impossible for any other aircraft in the world, using the F-22's thrust vectoring to maintain control and flight regimes that alien pilots couldn't follow. The Raptor's stealth technology defeated alien targeting systems just as effectively as it defeated terrestrial radar. That's why they call it air superiority. Lightning. These visitors are about to learn why America has ruled the skies since World War II. The dogfight that followed would be studied in Air Force academies for generations, assuming there were any alien survivors to provide tactical analysis. American pilots, trained in the crucible of red flag exercises and combat operations, outflew alien technology using superior tactics, better training, and aircraft that represented the absolute pinnacle of aerospace engineering. Morrison's remaining AMRAAMs found their targets with devastating efficiency, while his 20mm cannon firing depleted uranium rounds at 6,000 rounds per minute, shredded alien craft that had been designed to intimidate rather than fight peer adversaries. Nellis control. This is Thunder-led. American airspace over Nevada is now closed to unauthorized traffic. 8 bogies destroyed. No friendly casualties. Repetha Sky belongs to the United States Air Force. The response from Nellis Control carried the pride of an organization that had just validated decades of training and technological development. Outstanding work, Thunderflight. Vector to Las Vegas to provide air cover for civilian evacuation. More bogies are inbound, and we're going to show them what happens when you threaten America on Independence Day. Asterisk 300 miles west of San Diego. Admiral Rebecca Hayes commanded Carrier Strike Group 5 from the bridge of the USS Gerald R. Ford, the most advanced aircraft carrier ever constructed and the flagship of American naval power projection capabilities. The Ford represented everything that made American naval aviation legendary: nuclear propulsion that could maintain flank speed indefinitely, electromagnetic aircraft launch systems that could cycle aircraft faster than any catapult the system ever built, and an air wing equipped with the most advanced fighters and attack aircraft in the world. Admiral, we have confirmed extraterrestrial aircraft attempting to establish air control over the West Coast, reported her Air Operations Officer Commander James Patterson, his voice tight with the controlled excitement of a naval aviator preparing for combat. CAG is requesting permission to launch the alert fighters. Admiral Hayes studied the tactical displays showing alien formations approaching from the northwest, their flight patterns suggesting coordination but lacking the sophisticated tactical awareness that characterized American naval aviation. Permission granted. Launch everything we have. Show these visitors why American carrier aviation has ruled the world's oceans since World War II. The Ford's flight deck erupted in the controlled chaos that had made American carrier operations the most efficient and deadly in maritime history. The electromagnetic aircraft launch system began cycling FA-18EF Super Hornets and F-35C Lightning Eyes into combat with mechanical precision, each catapult stroke launching 50,000 pounds of American aerospace technology toward the enemy. Commander Viper Williams, leading the carrier's air wing, checked in over the tactical frequency as his F-35C cleared the deck. Admiral, this is CAG. We have 48 aircraft airborne and forming up for intercept. Initial sensor data shows alien aircraft are maintaining formation but not maneuvering defensively. Outstanding. CAG, prosecute targets aggressively. Show them what happens when they threaten American interests in the Pacific. Each F-35C Lightning II carried AIM-120 AMRAAM missiles and AIM-9X Sidewinders, weapons that had been proven in combat and refined through decades of American aerospace engineering. The Lightning II's advanced sensors could detect and engage targets that other aircraft couldn't even see, while its stealth technology made it virtually invisible to enemy systems. Viper flight. This is Viper-led. We have multiple bogies bearing 030, range 25 miles. Weapons are hot. Engagement is authorized. Let's remind these visitors that the Pacific Ocean belongs to the United States Navy. The air battle that erupted over the Pacific showcased the devastating effectiveness of American naval aviation. F-35Cs engaged alien fighters with AMRAAMs at beyond visual range, while Super Hornets followed up with cannon fire that demonstrated the lethality of American air-to-air gunnery training. Admiral Viper Williams reported as his squadron system destroyed the alien formation. Alien aircraft appear vulnerable to conventional weapons. Their energy shields or whatever they're using can't stop American missiles. Below the surface, the nuclear attack submarine USS Virginia was demonstrating why American underwater warfare capabilities were unmatched in the world's oceans. Captain Robert Mason had detected alien vessels attempting to use the Pacific for concealment, a fatal mistake when facing the most advanced submarine force ever deployed. Sonar contact, bearing 090, range 4,000 yards, reported his sonar operator, Petty Officer First Class Rodriguez. Signature is definitely not conventional, Captain. It's single quotes as ... big. Mason studied the tactical display showing the underwater alien craft. Weapons, load tubes 1 and 2 with Mark 48 ADCAP torpedoes, set them for maximum yield. Tubes 1 and 2 loaded and ready, Captain. The Mark 48 Advanced Capability torpedo represented the pinnacle of American underwater warfare technology, a weapon capable of sinking aircraft carriers, guided by advanced sonar systems and carrying a warhead that could crack a submarine's hull from hundreds of yards away. Fire 1, Fire 2. The Virginia shuddered slightly as the torpedoes left their tubes, their advanced guidance systems immediately acquiring the alien underwater craft. Mason watched the tactical display as American weapons closed the distance at 45 knots. Direct hits, Captain. Target is breaking up and sinking. Secondary explosions indicate we hit something important. Mason allowed himself a moment of satisfaction as he watched debris from the alien craft scatter across his sonar display. That's what happens when you bring alien technology to a fight with the United States Navy. Reload all tubes and find me more targets. These visitors need to learn that Earth's oceans have belonged to America since 1945. On the surface, the guided missile destroyer USS Arleigh was demonstrating the devastating effectiveness of the Aegis combat system, the most advanced naval air defense network ever deployed. The ship's SPY-1 radar could track hundreds of targets simultaneously, while its vertical launch system could engage them with precision that redefined naval warfare. Captain, we have multiple aerial contacts approaching from the west, reported the Tactical Action Officer, Lieutenant Commander Sarah Kim. Count 12 bogeys, altitude varying from sea level to 20,000 feet. Recommend engaging with Standard Missile 6. Captain David Reeves studied the tactical display showing alien aircraft in attack formation, weapons free. Engage all hostile aircraft with extreme prejudice. The Burke's VLS cells opened in sequence, launching SM-6 missiles that streaked into the sky with the reliability that it made American naval systems the gold standard worldwide. Each missile carried a warhead designed to destroy supersonic aircraft, and alien technology proved just as vulnerable as terrestrial threats. Captain, reported the weapons officer, we have confirmed intercepts on all 12 bogeys. No damage. 2 friendly forces. The Aegis system is performing flawlessly. Admiral Hayes watched the tactical display from the Ford's Bridge as American naval forces dominated every engagement across the Pacific theater. All ships, this is Admiral Hayes. These aliens picked the wrong ocean to threaten. The Pacific has belonged to the United States Navy since we drove the Japanese back to Tokyo Bay. Today we're extending that dominance to include extraterrestrial threats. At Fort Bragg, North Carolina, home of the 18th Airborne Corps and the most elite paratrooper units in the world, the 82nd Airborne Division was preparing for the most audacious combat jump in military history. Sergeant First Class Maria Santos checked her equipment with the methodical precision that had kept her alive through 3 combat deployments. Her M4A1 carbine carried advanced optics and accessories that represented the cutting edge of American small arms technology. Her body armor incorporated trauma plates designed to stop rifle rounds, while her tactical gear included communications equipment that could penetrate any interference. Tucked into her tactical vest, barely visible beneath her gear, was a small American flag that had accompanied her through combat operations in Afghanistan and Iraq. Today, for the first time in her military career, she would be fighting to defend American soil. Listen up, paratroopers, shouted Colonel David Kim, his voice carrying over the sound of C-17 Globemaster III engines spooling up on the runway. Alien forces have established landing zones in Washington, D.C. and are threatening the seat of American government. We're going to remind them why the 82nd Airborne is called America's Guard of Honor. The massive cargo bay of the C-17 held 200 of America's finest soldiers, each one trained to the highest standards of airborne warfare. Santos looked around at faces she trained with, fought alongside in hostile territory, and trusted with her life. Today they would jump into combat over their own capital city. 30 seconds out came the jump master's call as the aircraft approached the drop zone near the Washington Monument. Santos felt the familiar surge of adrenaline that came before every combat jump. She'd done this dozens of times in Afghanistan, Iraq, and classified operations in countries that didn't officially host American forces. But never over Washington, D.C., never to defend the homeland itself. 10 seconds. Stand up, hook up. The red light bathed the cargo bay in an ominous glow as 200 paratroopers prepared to execute the most important jump of their careers. Santos gripped her static line, feeling the weight of her equipment and the enormous responsibility of defending the nation's capital. Go, go, go. The paratroopers flowed out of the aircraft like a human avalanche, their parachutes deploying with mechanical precision as they descended toward Washington, D.C., where alien forces had established a command post near the Lincoln Memorial. All American, all the way, Santos shouted as she descended, her voice joined by 200 others in the battle cry that had echoed from Normandy to Kandahar. The landing was textbook perfect, with American paratroopers establishing a perimeter around the alien position with tactical precision that showcased decades of training and combat experience. The aliens had chosen their position for symbolic value, but they hadn't counted on facing soldiers, trained in urban warfare by the most professional military in human history. This is Sergeant Santos, Alpha Company. We have eyes on alien command, post approximately 50 meters north of the Lincoln Memorial. Count 12 bogies in defensive positions. Requesting permission to engage. Santos, this is Colonel Kim. You are cleared to engage. Show these visitors what American infantry can accomplish when they're defending their homeland. The assault that followed demonstrated why American ground forces were considered the most effective military unit in human history. Advanced tactics refined through decades of combat, superior training that emphasized initiative and adaptability, and weapons that had been proven in the crucible of warfare combined to systematically dismantle alien positions that had been considered impregnable. Santos led her squad in a flanking maneuver that isolated the alien command post while other elements provided suppressing fire with M249 squad automatic weapons. The aliens had energy weapons that could burn through cover, but they lacked the tactical flexibility that came from American military doctrine emphasizing decentralized leadership and adaptive thinking. Tango's down, area secured, Santos reported, as the last alien defender fell to precisely aimed rifle fire. Alien command post is under American control. These visitors just learned why we train our soldiers to think as well as fight. Meanwhile, at Fort Knox, Kentucky, the 1st Armored Division was deploying M1A to Abrams tanks that represented the pinnacle of American armored warfare technology. Each tank carried a 120mm smoothbore cannon capable of engaging targets at ranges that alien forces couldn't match. Protected by depleted uranium armor that could withstand direct hits from energy weapons, Staff Sergeant James Riley commanded, because Abrams with the confidence that came from knowing he was operating the most advanced main battle tank ever built. The tank's advanced fire control system could engage multiple targets while moving at full speed across terrain that would stop lesser vehicles, while its thermal imaging systems could detect enemies in complete darkness. Target acquired, alien, armored vehicle, range 2,000 meters, reported his gunner, Specialist Thompson, as the tank's systems locked onto an alien craft that had landed near Fort Knox. Fire Sabot, Riley commanded, selecting the most devastating anti-armor round in the American arsenal. The Abrams' main gun fired with a sound like controlled thunder, the depleted uranium penetrator leaving the barrel at mile-per-second velocity. The round struck the alien vehicle with kinetic energy that converted its advanced armor into superheated plasma, proving that American armor-piercing technology was effective regardless of the target's origin. Target destroyed, confirmed Thompson, as the alien craft erupted in secondary explosions, acquiring next target. Riley keyed his radio to the battalion frequency as more alien vehicles appeared on the horizon. All Sabre units. This is Sabre 6. Alien armor is vulnerable to standard PFSDS rounds. Engage targets of opportunity and advance on the objective. Let's show these visitors why American armor has dominated every battlefield since World War II. At Camp Pendleton, California, Force Reconnaissance Marines were preparing for operations that would showcase why the Marine Corps motto Semper Fidelis represented more than just words. It embodied a warrior culture forged in the crucible of American military tradition. Staff Sergeant Marcus Rodriguez had seen combat in Fallujah, Helmand Province, and classified operations in 3 different countries, but nothing had prepared him for fighting extraterrestrial forces on American soil. His 12-man team moved through the California coastline with a silent efficiency that made Marine reconnaissance units legendary throughout the military world. Each Marine carried weapons and equipment that represented the pinnacle of American military technology. Rodriguez's M40A6 sniper rifle could deliver precision fire at ranges exceeding 800 meters, while his team's M4A1 carbines carried advanced optics and suppressors that allowed them to engage targets while remaining undetected. Contact, 12 o'clock, 500 meters, whispered Corporal Anderson through the team's encrypted communications system, his voice barely audible even through their advanced headsets. Rodriguez observed the alien patrol through his Schmidt and Bender scope, watching 6 humanoid figures armed with energy weapons moving through terrain they clearly didn't understand. The aliens moved in formation but lacked the tactical awareness that characterized professional military units. Marines, Rodriguez whispered into his radio. his voice carrying the quiet authority that came from leading men in combat. These things may be from another planet, but they bleed, and bleeding things can die. Remember your training, trust your equipment, and remember what we're fighting for. Semper Fi, came the whispered response from his team, the traditional Marine Corps response that bound them together as brothers in arms. Rodriguez lined up his shot through the scope of his sniper rifle, a weapon that had been refined through decades of American precision manufacturing and field testing. The rifle fired 7.62mm NATO ammunition that had proven its effectiveness in combat zones around the world. And alien physiology proved just as vulnerable to American marksmanship as terrestrial targets. The shot echoed across the coastal hills like the crack of doom. The alien point man dropped instantly, its energy weapon clattering uselessly to the ground as Rodriguez's bullet found its mark with surgical precision. His team opened fire with the coordinated efficiency that came from years of training together, their suppressed weapons creating a deadly crossfire that eliminated the alien patrol in less than 30 seconds. Tango down. All targets eliminated, Rodriguez reported through his tactical radio control. This is Recon Actual. Area secured. These aliens are learning why Marines are called the few, the proud, at Marine Corps Air Station Miramar, home of the famous Top Gun training that had produced the most skilled fighter pilots in aviation history. F-35B Lightning Eyes were demonstrating the revolutionary capabilities that made them the most advanced strike fighters in the world. Major Sarah Mitchell piloted her Lightning II with the precision that came from surviving the most demanding flight training in the world. The F-35B's short takeoff and vertical landing capability allowed Marines to operate from bases that couldn't support conventional aircraft, while its advanced sensors and stealth technology made it virtually undetectable to enemy systems. Miramar. Control. This is Hammer-led, Mitchell transmitted as her sensors detected alien aircraft approaching from the ocean. I have multiple bogies bearing 030, range 15 miles, altitude varying. Request permission to engage. Hammer lead. You are cleared to engage. Protect American airspace and show these visitors why marine aviation has ruled the skies since World War II. Mitchell's F-35B carried AIM-120M missiles and an internal 25mm cannon that could engage multiple target types with devastating effectiveness. The aircraft's advanced sensor fusion presented her with a complete tactical picture that allowed her to engage targets that other pilots couldn't even detect. Fox 3. Mitchell called as her AMRAAMs streaked toward alien fighters with the reliability that had made American air-to-air missiles the gold standard. Worldwide, the missiles found their targets with precision that validated decades of American aerospace engineering. Mitchell watched her tactical display as two alien fighters simply vanished, their advanced technology proving no match for American weapons designed by engineers who understood that air superiority was a matter of national survival. Splash 2. Bandits. Confirmed kills. Hammer flight. Continue the sweep and engage targets of opportunity. Let's remind these visitors that the skies above America belong to the United States Marine Corps. At Peterson Space Force Base in Colorado. Colonel Lisa Harper commanded operations that would demonstrate why America had established the world's first dedicated space military branch and why that decision had been more prescient than anyone had imagined. Colonel, we have confirmed extraterrestrial vessels attempting to establish orbital control over North America, reported her operations officer, Major David Kim, his voice tight with the controlled excitement of witnessing history in the making. Count approximately 50 large vessels maintaining geosynchronous orbit above major population centers. Harper studied displays showing the scope of alien orbital deployment, her years of experience in space operations allowing her to immediately recognize the tactical implications. The aliens had positioned themselves to threaten American cities, while believing they held the ultimate high ground. A fatal miscalculation when facing the most advanced space-based military capabilities in human history. Major. Activate our satellite defense network. It's time these visitors learned that Americans have been planning for this scenario since we first reached orbit in 1958. What happened next would redefine humanity's understanding of American space capabilities and demonstrate why the Space Force had been established as an independent military branch. Military satellites that had been disguised as commercial communications equipment revealed their true capabilities, deploying weapon systems that had been classified beyond top secret. For decades, GPS satellites demonstrated defensive capabilities that redefined the concept of space-based warfare. Even the International Space Station deployed weapons that had been hidden within research modules, transforming from a symbol of peaceful scientific cooperation into an orbital fortress designed to defend American interests in space. Colonel, our orbital assets are engaging alien spacecraft across multiple vectors, reported Major Kim as tactical displays showed the systematic engagement of extraterrestrial forces. Initial reports indicate high effectiveness rates. Alien vessels appear vulnerable to kinetic interceptors and directed energy weapons. Harper watched the displays with the satisfaction of someone who had dedicated her career to preparing for exactly this scenario. American space-based weapons, developed in secret facilities and tested in classified programs, systematically engaged alien vessels with precision that showcased decades of technological development. Outstanding, maintain engagement patterns, and prepare for Phase 2 operations. These visitors are about to learn that Americans have been reaching for the stars since before their species discovered interstellar travel. The aliens had expected to face a primitive space program limited to scientific research and satellite communications. Instead, they encountered the most advanced orbital defense network in galactic history, operated by the most technically proficient military force humanity had ever produced, high above the Earth. In facilities that officially didn't exist, American space-based weapons proved that the ultimate high ground belonged to the nation that had put the first man on the moon and never stopped reaching higher. At the Pentagon, in the National Military Command Center that served as the nerve center for American military operations worldwide, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs General Patricia Hayes coordinated the most complex military operation in American history. The command center hummed with activity as officers from every branch of service managed the global American response to extraterrestrial invasion. Massive displays showed the tactical situation across every domain of warfare, and sea, air, space, and cyber, while communication systems connected American forces from the Arctic to the Antarctic. Status report, General Hayes requested from her assembled staff, her voice carrying the authority of someone who had risen through the ranks to command the most powerful military force in human history. Ma'am, Air Force reports complete air superiority over the continental United States, reported the Air Force liaison Brigadier General Thompson. Enemy aircraft are being engaged and destroyed at a ratio of 12-1. F-22 and F-35 squadrons are systematically clearing American airspace of extraterrestrial threats. Navy status, both Pacific and Atlantic fleets have established fire superiority in their operational areas, responded Admiral Jackson, his voice carrying the pride of a service that had ruled the world's oceans for decades. Carrier strike groups are engaging alien vessels with conventional weapons and achieving high kill rates. Alien technology appears vulnerable to American missiles and naval gunfire. Army, the 82nd Airborne has secured Washington, D.C. and eliminated alien command posts in the capital region, reported General Martinez, satisfaction evident in his voice. The 1st Armored Division is advancing on alien positions throughout the Midwest. Rangers and Special Forces are conducting precision strikes against high-value targets with 100% mission success rates. Marines, Semper Fi, ma'am, responded General Davis with characteristic Marine Corps pride. Force Recon has eliminated alien scout positions along both coasts. Marine Aviation is providing close air support to ground operations while Marine Expeditionary Units are conducting assault operations against alien landing zones. Space Force. Orbital superiority established, ma'am, reported Colonel Harper via secure video link from Peterson Space Force Base. Our satellite network is engaging alien spacecraft with high effectiveness. Enemy forces are discovering that the high ground belongs to America. General Hayes nodded as she studied the global tactical display showing American forces systematically defeating alien units across every conceivable battlefield. The scope of American military capability was being demonstrated on a scale that would reshape humanity's understanding of their place in the galaxy. Gentlemen, ladies, she addressed the assembled commanders, what we're witnessing is not just military victory, we're seeing the culmination of 2.5 centuries of American military excellence, from the Continental Marines at Tripoli to the Space Force in orbit. She turned to address the entire command center, her voice carrying the weight of history. The aliens chose July 4th because they thought our independence celebrations represented weakness or distraction. They failed to understand that Independence Day commemorates the birth of the most powerful military force in human history, a force that has never been defeated and never will be. On the main display, American forces continued their systematic destruction of alien invasion forces. F-22 Raptors dominated the skies above American cities. Carrier strike groups controlled the approaches to American coastlines. Army units advanced against alien positions with the confidence that came from superior training and equipment. Marines conducted precision assaults that eliminated alien strongholds. Space Force assets engaged alien spacecraft in orbit with weapons that redefined the concept of space warfare. Ma'am, reported her aide, Colonel Nakamura, were receiving multiple surrender requests from alien command elements across all theaters of operation. General Hayes smiled as she studied tactical displays showing the complete collapse of alien resistance across every front. Patch me through to their fleet commander. It's time to discuss terms. Fleet Commander Zeth-9's image appeared on the main display. The alien's features showing obvious signs of stress and confusion as reports of systematic defeat reached his flagship from every front of the invasion. American Commander Zeth-9's voice carried none of the arrogance that had characterized his initial transmission. We request immediate ceasefire. We severely underestimated your military capabilities. General Hayes leaned forward, her expression carrying the cold satisfaction of someone who had just validated decades of American military planning. Commander Zethnin, this is General Patricia Hayes, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff of the United States Armed Forces. Your surrender request is noted. However, you invaded the United States of America on Independence Day. That requires a more substantial response than just a ceasefire. What are your terms? Hayes gestured to the tactical displays showing the complete domination of American forces across every battlefield. Complete and immediate withdrawal of all extraterrestrial forces from Earth's solar system. Full technical intelligence about your capabilities and those of any other potentially hostile species. Reparations for damage caused to American infrastructure. And a binding guarantee that no extraterrestrial force will threaten Earth again. Zethnin's alien features contorted in what might have been resignation. Those terms are acceptable. But I must ask, how did our intelligence fail so completely? Our analysis indicated that your species was fragmented. Your military capabilities. Primitive Hayes allowed herself a cold smile. Commander, you made the same mistake that every enemy of America has made throughout our history. You confused our political debates with military weakness. You saw our open society and assumed we were unprepared. You observed our peaceful intentions and concluded we were incapable of war. She gestured to the displays showing American military superiority across every domain. What you failed to understand is that America has been preparing for this moment since 1776. Every generation of Americans was built upon the military capabilities of those who came before. Today, you faced not just the current United States military, but the accumulated wisdom, technology, and warrior spirit of 2.5 centuries of American military excellence. While surrender negotiations continued, American forces across the globe were demonstrating that the United States military didn't simply achieve victory, it achieved total, overwhelming dominance that left no doubt about the outcome at Edwards Air Force Base. The elite test pilot community was unleashing classified aircraft that had been developed in secret programs spanning decades. The B-21 Raider, America's newest stealth bomber, demonstrated its capability to penetrate alien defenses and deliver precision strikes against targets that conventional forces couldn't reach. Colonel Michael Reaper Thompson piloted his B through alien-controlled airspace with the confidence that came from flying the most advanced stealth aircraft ever built. The Raider's revolutionary design made it virtually invisible to alien sensors, while its weapons bay carried conventional and precision-guided munitions that could eliminate targets with surgical accuracy. Edwards Control, this is Reaper 1, approaching Target Alpha Alien Command Facility in the Mojave Desert. Request clearance for weapons release. Reaper 1, you are cleared hot. Show these visitors what happens when they establish bases on American soil without permission. The B-21's bomb bay doors opened with mechanical precision, releasing GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator bombs designed to destroy the most hardened targets on Earth. The Alien Command Facility, protected by energy shields that had been considered impregnable, disintegrated under the precise application of American firepower. Direct hit, target destroyed. Alien Command Facility is eliminated. Reaper 1 is returning to base. Meanwhile, at submarine bases along both American coasts, the nuclear submarine force was demonstrating why American underwater warfare capabilities remained unmatched in the world's oceans. Captain Jennifer Walsh commanded the USS Seawolf as it hunted alien vessels attempting to use the Atlantic Ocean for concealment. The Seawolf represented the pinnacle of American submarine technology, faster, quieter, and more heavily armed than any underwater vessel ever built. Sonar contact, bearing 180 range 6,000 yards, reported her sonar operator. Signature indicates large alien vessel, possibly their command ship. Walsh studied the tactical display showing the alien vessel's position relative to major shipping lanes. Weapons, load tubes 1 through 4 with Mark 48 ADCAP torpedoes. We're going to send these visitors a message from the silent service. Tubes, loaded and ready. Captain, fire 1 through 4. 4 torpedoes left the Seawolf in rapid succession, their advanced guidance systems coordinating to ensure that the alien command vessel had no escape route. The torpedoes struck simultaneously, creating a series of explosions that sent the alien flagship to the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. Target destroyed. Captain, no survivors detected. Walsh keyed her radio to Fleet Headquarters. Comsablant, this is Seawolf. Alien command vessel eliminated. The Atlantic Ocean remains under United States Navy control. At Fort Campbell, Kentucky, the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment, the legendary Night Stalkers, were conducting precision operations that showcased why American Special Operations Forces were considered the elite of the elite. Chief Warrant Officer David Ghost Johnson piloted his MH-60 Black Hawk through terrain following flight profiles that kept his aircraft below alien radar while inserting Special Forces teams behind enemy lines. The Night Stalkers had perfected the art of precision helicopter operations through decades of combat, and alien forces proved just as vulnerable to American Special Operations tactics as terrestrial enemies. Ghost 1, this is Talon 6, came the voice of the Special Forces team leader over the aircraft's communication system. We have eyes on the alien supply depot. Request immediate extraction after target elimination. Roger. Talon 6, Ghost 1 will be standing by for immediate extraction. Complete your mission and let's go home. The Special Forces team executed their assault with a precision that had made American Special Operations Forces legendary throughout the military world. Within minutes, the alien supply depot was eliminated and the team was extracted without casualties. Mission accomplished. Ghost 1. These visitors are learning why American Special Operations Forces are called the Quiet Professionals. Asterisk. At Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, home of the Air Force Research Laboratory, classified weapons systems that had been developed in secret programs were being deployed against alien forces for the first time. Dr. Sarah Kim, leading a team of Air Force scientists and engineers, coordinated the deployment of directed energy weapons that represented decades of American technological development. The high-energy laser weapons system had been designed to defend American bases against conventional threats but proved equally effective against extraterrestrial targets. Target acquired, reported the weapons system operator. Alien aircraft at range 15 kilometers, maintaining attack profile toward the base. Weapons free. Dr. Kim authorized engage with maximum power. The directed energy weapon fired, with no sound except the hum of cooling systems, its invisible beams striking the alien aircraft with the focused energy of a star. The craft disintegrated instantly, proving that American laser technology could defeat even the most advanced alien defensive systems. Target eliminated. The system is ready for next engagement. At Los Alamos National Laboratory, scientists who had devoted their careers to understanding the fundamental forces of the universe were applying that knowledge to develop weapons specifically designed to counter alien technology. Dr. Michael Rodriguez, leading a team of physicists and engineers, had developed electromagnetic pulse weapons that could disable alien electronics while leaving American systems unaffected. The weapons represented a breakthrough in selective electromagnetic warfare that gave American forces a decisive technological advantage. EMP weapon is charged and ready, reported his technical team. Target is the alien communication array that's coordinating their remaining forces. Fire when ready. Dr. Rodriguez authorized. The electromagnetic pulse weapon discharged with a flash of artificial lightning, sending focused electromagnetic energy toward the alien communication facility. Within seconds, alien communications across the entire theater went silent as their electronic systems overloaded and failed. Target neutralized. Alien forces have lost their ability to coordinate operations across the battlefield. Asterisk. The surrender ceremony took place on the White House South Lawn, broadcast to every corner of the earth and transmitted throughout the galaxy as a message that would resonate for generations to come. President Macready stood before an assembly that represented the finest military tradition in human history. Representatives from every branch of American armed forces stood at attention. Army soldiers who had proven that American ground forces remained unmatched. Navy sailors who had demonstrated that the world's oceans belonged to America. Air Force airmen who had shown that American pilots ruled the skies. Marines who had upheld their reputation as America's premier fighting force. Space Force guardians who had proven that the ultimate high ground belonged to America. And Coast Guard personnel who had protected American waters against an enemy unlike any they had ever faced. Today, President Macready announced to the assembled crowd and watching world, "We have demonstrated that the principles our founders established in 1776 remain as relevant in 2025 as they were at our nation's birth. We have shown that American military excellence, built upon the foundation of freedom and defended by patriots who understand that liberty requires eternal vigilance, can meet any threat from any source." Behind her, honor guards from every service stood at attention, their uniforms representing the finest military tradition in human history. The American flag flew above them, its stars and stripes symbolizing not just a nation, but a set of principles that had proven strong enough to defend not just America, but the entire human race. The aliens studied our society and saw political division. They failed to understand that when America is threatened, we become something they couldn't comprehend. We become Americans, united in defense of the freedom that defines us. She gestured to the military representatives standing behind her. These men and women represent the most professional, most capable, most technologically advanced military force our species has ever produced. They prove today that American military superiority isn't just about weapons or technology. It's about the warriors who operate them, trained in the tradition of American military excellence that stretches from Valley Forge to the stars themselves. Fleet Commander Zeth-9, standing in formal surrender before the most powerful military force in the galaxy, transmitted his final message to the assembled alien fleet. All hegemony forces monitoring this frequency. Earth is defended by warriors whose capabilities exceed our understanding. Recommend immediate classification as a forbidden system. These humans have mastered warfare in ways our species cannot comprehend. General Hayes stepped forward to respond for all of humanity, her voice carrying the authority of the most powerful military force in galactic history. The United States Armed Forces stand ready to defend freedom wherever it's threatened. That has been our mission since 1776. That remains our mission today, tomorrow, and for as long as America endures. The ceremony concluded with a flyover that showcased the full spectrum of American military aviation. F-22 Raptors and F-35 Lightning E's flew in perfect formation, followed by B-2 Spirit bombers that had proven their ability to penetrate any defense. F-A-18 Super Hornets from carrier strike groups joined the formation, while B-21 Raiders demonstrated the cutting edge of American aerospace technology. The aircraft flew in formation that painted the American flag across the sky, their contrails forming stars and stripes against a clear blue background as a symbol that freedom, once established, would never surrender. That as the alien fleet departed Earth's solar system, carrying word of American military supremacy to civilizations across the galaxy, automated beacons began transmitting a message that would be received by species throughout known space. This system is under the protection of the United States Armed Forces. Earth welcomes peaceful contact with any species that comes in friendship. However, any attempt to threaten human freedom or security will be met with the full force of American military power. Approach with respect, depart in peace, or face the consequences of challenging the most powerful military force in galactic history. President McCready addressed the nation one final time as the alien fleet disappeared beyond the edge of the solar system. My fellow Americans, today we proved that the military we have built, the warriors we have trained, and the technology we have developed can defend not just our nation, but our entire planet and species. The aliens learned what Americans have always known. Freedom isn't free, but it's always worth fighting for. She paused, looking out over the assembled military representatives who had just proven American military superiority on a galactic scale. Today, July 4, 2025, will be remembered not just as Independence Day, but as the day humanity announced to the galaxy that Earth is defended by Americans, and Americans never surrender, never retreat, and never accept defeat when freedom is at stake. The story concluded with the image that would define humanity's place in the galaxy, the American flag flying over the White House, with F-22 Raptors maintaining combat air patrol overhead, ensuring that the independence Americans had fought for in 1776 would be defended against any threat, from any source, for as long as the United States of America endured. In the depths of space, alien civilizations updated their star charts with a simple notation that would ensure Earth's security for generations to come. Sol system defended by Americans. Forbidden zone. Approach only with peaceful intentions or face total military defeat. The 4th of July 2025 had become more than Independence Day. It had become the day America proved to the galaxy that freedom, once established by patriots, would be defended by warriors whose dedication to liberty made them the most formidable military force in known space. And in American military academies, war colleges, and training facilities around the world, a new chapter was added to the curriculum: Extraterrestrial Warfare, American Doctrine. The first lesson was simple: when defending freedom, Americans fight not just to win, but to ensure that the enemy never forgets the price of threatening liberty. America had fought for independence in 1776. In 2025, America had defended that independence against the galaxy itself and won.
Welcome, traveler. We're glad you're here. Every story you hear is made with care and passion. If you enjoy it, please like, subscribe, and check out the other adventures waiting for you on our channel. Your support means the world. Thank you. We hope you enjoy the story.
Humanity Galactic Frontiers, all rights reserved. This video and its contents are protected under international copyright law. Any unauthorized copying, distribution, or re-uploading is strictly prohibited without written permission. If you enjoyed this journey, please like the video and subscribe for more stories from the edge of the galaxy. Thanks for watching, and stay curious out there among the stars.